Okay, so when you join the garden, you're likely to get a plot that looks something like this. Now, somebody has been here before you. They've decided for whatever reason to give up, or they no longer want to garden here, and they've moved on, and you're now the lucky recipient of this plot. So you'll notice that it has been cleaned out for you. The weeds have been removed. You will need to put in an irrigation system, which I'll show you how to do that in another class. And then we'll get towards preparing the plot, being and amending it so that in the first season you can expect to look like this next plot.
So you can go from this garden plot of just bare ground and produce what you see in this photograph. In fact, this is a photograph of Graham collecting 70 pounds of tomatoes, zucchini, squash, peppers, and greens on a single day from the two community outreach plots. Over the entire year, I believe Graham collected well over 1,000 pounds. And so this is what we would all hope. And in a moment, we will jump into one of the community outreach plots. Graham's going to look at it and say it's starting to die out. But even at a dying out garden, I want you to notice what he has growing.
Okay, so we're in the one of the outreach plots now, and we're going to start clearing it out. And there's a couple of points that I'd like to draw your attention to. It is pretty obvious that these tomatoes are done. They still have a couple of tomatoes on them, and I'm simply going to take them off, and those that are not ripe will ripen off the vine. And then once we've got the tomatoes off, the plant can come out. Now, tomatoes are very deep rooted, but are fairly easy to pull out. And I'll take that out as well. Over here, we still have a plant that appears somewhat healthy, but it's not going to produce many more tomatoes. And there are a couple here, for example. I've just pulled off one that is not ripe yet, but it will ripen if you leave it on a windowsill, a little bit of light, and within a couple of days this will ripen. So I'll go through this particular plant, see what I've got left, take off the tomatoes. Here we have a couple more, not ripe yet, but they will ripen. As long as they have moved from the light green color, you see here the dark green, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but if they have started going darker green, they will ripen off the vine. And yes, I could have left them, but it means I wouldn't be able to take the plant out now, and I wouldn't be able to start preparing this part of the plot so that over a period of time we can get the whole plot ready for planting. Now let's take a look here at these summer squash. Try not to tread on the tomatoes. Now you can see we've been cutting leaves off this all through the season, but it still has a couple of growing points, and I'm still getting some small crookneck squash. Well, those that are a reasonable size I will take, and the rest I will give up on. At some stage you have to decide, okay, we're now moving to the next crop, and in this plant's case, this is today. That's basically what I was going to show today. Talk about getting things